Yo, 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 what is up, Phenoms? How are you guys doing tonight, this morning, depending on when you're listening? Hope you guys had a wonderful day. If you guys watched the show last night, you knew that it was a bad day. We're back on track today. We are back on track. Cashing every single slate. Theo had an amazing day. He finished in small GPPs in the top 10 in a couple. So, good day for the Phenoms. What's up, Dewey? First in the spot. Yo, Vegas hit again today for the most part. Did a little San Diego stack in the late. Fire. Arizona stack. Fire. Faded Clayton Kershaw. Ended up being a decent decision. What's up, Rudy? Yo, and I hit on a ton of bets today. Nick, what's up? Giants killed me. I had them. I stacked them a little bit. Actually, you know what? They actually didn't kill me. I still cashed in that line. I had Brandon Belt. I had Brandon Crawford. And Brandon Belt hit a home run. Brandon Crawford had a single, a run, a walk, RBI. So, you know, that line didn't actually do bad. Cashed in it. Giants bats were cheap, so I was able to get a ton of Arizona bats in there. So overall, it was a wonderful day and night. Like I said, cash in every slate, so we're back on track. We got a new little process that we tested out today. It worked wonderful, combining with some Vegas stuff. Can't give out that secret. I've been talking to the guys in the group, though, and we're all excited to test it out tomorrow. See if it keeps winning. So, anything else crazy happened today from a recap standpoint? R.A. Dickey, another great performance. Dude, he's pitching well of late. I don't know what he changed, but pitching well of late. If you stacked him and Kluber on the early, you won. There was no doubt about it. Kluber and R.A. Dickey on DraftKings was money. Money. Robbie Ray had a decent game. Lance McCullers went out and balled. Dinelson, the Met, actually had a very respectable game. Cleveland sucked again. Bro, I'm telling you, Josh. R.A. Dickey and Mike, I know you're going to listen to this tomorrow morning. Giving me shit for that R.A. Dickey call a couple of starts ago. Oh, man. I think Mike would even be on the R.A. Dickey train at this point. He was the perfect SP2 option. He really was. For a GPP, to pair with Kluber and get the bats you wanted, it worked well. So, a couple notes here I have written down. Looking ahead at tomorrow. Teams in danger of being swept. Cleveland Indians, Milwaukee Brewers, Chicago White Sox, St. Louis Cardinals, who are playing the Sunday night game. Toronto Blue Jays lost again today. Colorado Rockies against the Dodgers. Detroit Tigers against the Padres of all teams. And the Giants, who are garbage. They'll probably get swept. Also, teams that are traveling after tomorrow's game. I do think that is important. I always look at teams that are on travel days because oftentimes they kind of throw in the towel, right? That last day, they will throw the quadruple A lineups out there, give guys rest, especially if they know, we're traveling, whatever, let's just move on. So those teams are Cincinnati out of Washington, Chicago out of Miami, Minnesota out of Cleveland, Texas out of New York. New York is flying away from New York, Colorado out of LA, and the Angels flying from Boston back to LA to play the Dodgers on Monday. So those are your teams traveling. Teams that are traveling and in danger of getting swept are Cincinnati and Colorado. That is it. Cincinnati and Colorado are the two teams in danger of being swept and traveling. Depending on how much you put into value or how much you value those statistics, to each their own. Also, the hottest 7 teams in the league over the last 7 days. The Angels coming in at number 1 with a 373 WOBA, 211 ISO. You have the Houston Astros, who have a 404 WOBA with a 292 ISO. The LA Dodgers, 446 WOBA, 340 ISO. You have the Cleveland Indians with a 400 WOBA and 213 ISO. That just tells you what they've been doing the other 5 days that they didn't get their ass kicked by the Twins' worst 2 pitchers. The Atlanta Braves hold a 361 WOBA and a 185 ISO. The Seattle Mariners hold a 393 WOBA and a 228 ISO. And finally, the Arizona Diamondbacks hold a 356 WOBA with a 197 ISO. Those are your top 7 hottest teams in the league. Yo, have fun, Rudy. Good seeing you, buddy. Hope you did well today. Missing out. I'm excited to learn about the Vegas. Yo, I'm telling you, Will. It's worth it, my friend. It's worth it. And you get that 7-day free trial. I promise you. Ask any of the guys that are in the group. I think they'll recommend it. So, when you get a chance, my friend. And we'll always help you out. If you're struggling with anything, you guys can always hit me up. Let me know what you're struggling with, how I can help out. We have a Phenom Academy that we're about to launch once Mike gets back. Good news on Mike. Dad is cancer-free. Congrats, Mike. Glad to hear that. Should be released from the hospital in the next 2 days. That's obviously where Mike's been. So appreciate all your guys' support with that. I'm ecstatic to hear that the Pops is doing well. And on to tomorrow. So we have Chris Tillman and Jake Odorizzi in the first game of the day in Tampa. Tampa Bay did not do well versus Dylan Bundy today. Baltimore actually got to Tampa a little bit, put up 8 runs. Chris Tillman has been bad all year. Last 3 starts, he's given up a WOBA, or an average of 464, a WOBA of 548, hard contact rate of 47%, and a home run per 9 of 4.2. 4 home runs per 9. Tillman makes the top 5 for me to attack tomorrow. I don't know if Vegas can even get me off that. The Tampa bats look amazing versus Tillman. I'm interested to see who they start. Obviously, Wilson Ramos. Well, Derek Norris won't be there. I'll fix that. Wilson Ramos is back. Derek Norris got DFA'd. They've been playing Shane Peterson a little bit, so we'll see. But Logan Morrison remains hot. Steven Souza, Corey Dickerson, Malik Smith. A lot of good bats tomorrow. I'm not going to attack Jake Odorizzi. I'm not going to pitch him either. He's not my favorite pitcher on the slate, but I'm definitely not attacking him. Chicago, Miami. We have Edison Volquez, who has pitched well this year. His last 3 starts have not been the best. He holds a 363 WOBA in his last 3. Strikeouts are down a little bit. And then you have Mike Montgomery, who's been pitching well. The problem with him is, of course, is how deep in the game is he going to go. Miami does hit lefties decent. They have a nice home run per fly ball rate versus them. Chicago struggles more with righties than lefties. So that is interesting. I'm not going to pitch either guy as of right now. Mike Montgomery might be an SB2 candidate on DraftKings. Might be. I'm torn on that. Not 100% sure if I'm going to go there. But Mike Montgomery, he's holding some nice numbers. 18.5% strikeout rate is plenty doable. And he's actually better on the road than he has been at home in the limited sample size, of course. StatCast numbers are very nice as well. He's given up an average exit velocity of under 85 miles an hour and only getting barreled up less than 4% of the time. So I don't know if this could end up being a pitcher's duel, quite honestly. I don't know how much Chicago gets Edison Volquez. They definitely can. And if the prices are going to stay cheap, which they are, Wilson Contreras still only $2,800 on FanDuel. Addison Russell, $3,100. That's decent. Javier Baez. So I think Chicago might see some chalk tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be good. Minnesota, Cleveland. What are we going to do with Cleveland? Cleveland couldn't even hit Alberto Mejia, nor could they hit Kyle Gibson. Are they going to hit Irvin Santana, who has been awful his last 3 starts? He's given up a 380 average, a 485 WOBA, 41% hard contact rate, and 3.6 home runs per 9. Cleveland does hit righties a little bit better than they do lefties. Talk about a 195 ISO compared to a 158 versus lefties. They also hit better at home. Mentioned that they're in danger of getting swept. I think they're going to want to try and salvage this. This is a division game. So I think you can go back to Cleveland tomorrow, and I think people might be off of Cleveland. I think they got burned 2 days in a row. Francisco Lindor was chalk yet again for his price on FanDuel. Jose Ramirez, I believe he had a decent game. Edwin Encarnacion didn't do much today. Lonnie Chisenhall didn't do anything. Austin Jackson didn't do much. So, depending on what this lineup throws out, I think Irvin Santana is attackable. And I don't think that's going to be a popular decision as well. So I'm really interested to see what Vegas does with this. Because I think my gut tells me that Irvin Santana will be attackable in their eyes too. We got Cincy and Washington. Tanner Roark is another example of a guy that's having a decent year, but is in a bad funk. Over the last 3 starts for Tanner, 417 average against him, 479 WOBA. His strikeouts are way down. You're looking at 12.5%. Almost 50% hard contact. And, I mean, if that hard contact is pretty much correlated, right? He's given up 50% hard contact. We know if you hit the ball hard, most of the time you're gonna find a hole. And that's what's been happening. He's given, like I said, 479 WOBA. That hard contact and WOBA are plenty correlative. He's given up more home runs in the last 3 days, twice as many as he, not twice as many as he has on the year, but his yearly rate is 1.1 per 9. He's given up 2.3 in the last 3 starts, so not good there. Scott Feldman's been decent. He's been getting more strikeouts of late, but with that has come more or a higher WOBA and average against him, right? So typically that happens with strikeout pitchers. They are going for the strikeout. I don't know if Tillman is trying to adjust his game. I'm going to pay some close attention to that tomorrow, but the higher strikeout rate is interesting. As far as attacking, I think you can attack Tanner Roark more than Scott Feldman. Mentioned that Cincinnati's in danger of getting swept. I think they come out and try and do something. Washington has a healthy lead in that division. Typically, Dusty rests their guys on Sunday. I expect to see Jose Lobaton tomorrow. You might see Zimmerman get a day off. Adam Lind will step into the lineup. So I think that I think Washington's out of play for me. We'll see what happens. It's not for sure. Of course, all this is preliminary, right? A lot can change. And then as far as Cincy, again, I like Votto. I like Duvall. I like Schebler. So I think there's some guys you can play. Tucker Barnhart's been swinging the bat well as of late as well. So if he plays tomorrow, definitely give him a look. I mentioned that LA has been one of the hottest teams in the last 7 days. And Doug Fister is making his return tomorrow. I don't think Doug Fister has ever been anything special. So I'm all for attacking him tomorrow. I think Cameron Maybin has been extraordinary over the last week. I see him continuing his hot streak. I do like Andrelton Simmons. He's been playing well. Martin Maldonado's been playing well. Albert Pujols just missed a home run today. I don't know if I stack LA here, but I do think Doug Fister is attackable with some bats. And then Parker Bridwell. Is Boston going to be chalk again? They're continuously chalk. I don't know why, but people love to stack Boston. I don't get it. They're not a home run hitting team. They're a station-to-station team, and they play worse at home than they do on the road, and it's not close. So I don't see, at least power-wise, I don't think I stack Boston. I think you can play some one-offs, maybe Mitch Moreland again, Andrew Benintendi, but I'm definitely not stacking Boston. Now, this is an interesting game, and I think this has some some game stack potential to it. It isn't SunTrust. We know how this park plays. It's actually been relatively low scoring for the first 2 games. Julio Teheran has pitched better of late. He's getting less strikeouts, but he's given up less home runs, less fly balls, less hard contact, lower average, and a much, much lower WOBA. You're looking at a 263 WOBA over the last 3 starts for Julio Teheran. But he is still Julio Teheran, and he struggles versus lefties. And we're talking Eric Sogard, Eric Thames, Travis Shaw. Power lefties in this park. I think Teheran is someone we can still attack. And then Zach Davies is actually the guy I really, really want to go after. He's given up almost a 400 average in his last 3 starts. 2.7 home runs per 9, 40% hard contact, 445 WOBA, and his strikeouts are way down, 10%. Guy's not missing bats, and he's getting hit hard. Not a good recipe. I like Atlanta with, obviously some Matt Adams, some Dansby Swanson, some Ender Inciarte. Brandon Phillips has been swinging a hot bat of late. So I think Atlanta is definitely in play tomorrow. Texas, New York. Michael Pineda makes the list of guys I'm looking to start. Now, he has not been good over his last 3. His strikeouts are way down, 16% strikeout rate over the last 3 games. That's not Michael Pineda-like. We do know that Michael Pineda tends to be a head case. If he gets down or he struggles, his night is over. He cannot recover from a bad start. And that's what worries me. He's going to forever be a GPP play for that reason. I really don't think Michael Pineda, and I hate Michael Pineda when he's chalk. I know Josh and I have talked about this numerous times. Chalk Pineda is always bad Pineda. He does pitch significantly better at home, holding almost a 30% strikeout rate at home this year. And Texas does strike out quite a bit. So the upside is there. The upside is there. But then there's the fact that Texas can also hammer you. Carlos Gomez has been hot. Mike Napoli has been hot. I'd expect Robinson Chirinos to be in the lineup again tomorrow. Quite frankly, he's better performing than Jonathan Lucroy right now. I think Robinson Chirinos needs to start cutting into Lucroy's playing time. Chu is still hot. Mizara. So you can go either way with this. Again, I think either side is a GPP play. I don't think you stack Texas in cash, and I don't think you play Pineda in cash. But I do like Pineda as a GPP option. Oakland, Chicago mentioned that Chicago is on the verge of being swept. They are not traveling. They will stay home. Oakland has exploded the last 2 games. James Shields of old returned today. If you stacked Oakland in the early, you looked pretty. Matt Olson, what's that other dude's name? Jacob Brugman, and one of the A's top prospect. All 3 guys hit their first home run today. So congrats to them. James Shields is like batting practice. So that was quite a bit of an accomplishment, I would say. But Derek Holland, not a guy I want to pitch tomorrow. Absolutely not. Oakland does struggle a little bit versus lefties, but I still think Ryan Healy, who absolutely crushes lefties, is going to be in play for 3,100. I am looking at some Chris Davis. Even though he struggled versus lefties this year, he's hitting the ball hard still, 52%. I think it's only a matter of time before his luck turns around. When you hit the ball hard 50% of the time, typically you have a little more success than a 180 average. So, Derek Holland, I don't pitch him. Maybe I don't full stack. And Sonny Gray, again, another guy. I'm not going to stack against him, but I don't find myself pitching him as of right now. Toronto and Kansas. Kansas City, I should say. Look at Jason Hamill over his last 3 starts. 14% hard contact against Jason Hamill in his last 3 starts. Talked about pitching him last time against Boston. Ended up having a very decent game. I don't think Jason Hamill will ever win you a GPP as a standalone pitcher on FanDuel. Probably not. DraftKings SP2 option. I don't think he's ever going to be mad expensive. Well, actually, you know what he was last time, but let me see what his price is. Because if he is cheap tomorrow, I think that is a stream option. Let's see. Jason Hamill is $8K on DraftKings. It's a little too expensive for an SP2. I don't think I do that. And then Francisco Liriano, he's been terrible on the road this year. He's given up 40% hard contact, a home run rate of almost 3 per 9. And Kansas City has some guys that can hit lefties. Mike Moustakas has actually been hitting lefties well this year. Theo mentioned him a couple times of, he's trying to get traded, right? So he's definitely going to show out. Salvador Perez, Lorenzo Cain is still hot. Whit Merrifield. Eric Hosmer hit another home run today. He's had a really good month. So I think there are a couple guys that can get to Liriano tomorrow. Do I stack against them? Probably not, but I'm definitely not pitching them as of right now. We have New York and SF. Rafael Montero. Not had a great season, but he has limited damage in terms of home runs, and he gets one of the best pitcher parks in the game tomorrow. He's 4,800 on DraftKings. SP2 option against the offense that has been pretty anemic. I can see it. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do. I don't think I do it on FanDuel. I'll put that out there. But DraftKings, see, this is why the dynamic of the two sites is so different. A guy is not even in contention on FanDuel when you only have one pitcher, right? So, for example, R.A. Dickey, great performance today. However, R.A. Dickey on FanDuel probably doesn't win you much because Corey Kluber had such a good game that if you didn't have Corey Kluber, I don't think you win anything. You might cash if you hit your bats really, really well. On DraftKings, R.A. Dickey was a great option as an SP2, right? And I think that's where you can really differentiate yourself on DraftKings is you can play the chalk pitcher as an SP1 and differentiate yourself with your second pitcher. Whereas on FanDuel, if you don't have the chalk pitcher and he goes off, good luck. You can differentiate yourself all you want with your bats, but it's a lot easier to differentiate with a pitcher that does well than try and find, 9 bats that do well. So again, different strategies on both sides. You got to figure out which one you do better at. But anyways, Rafael Montero, definitely think he is a SP2 option on DraftKings tomorrow. 4,800, that's a nice price. You're not looking for too much from him. Matt Moore pitches better at home, significantly better at home, mind you. 228 average, 286 WOBA at home, 19% strikeout rate. He actually has upped his strikeout rate in the last 3 days, 26%. I'm sorry, last 3 starts. And he hasn't given up a home run in those last 3 starts. He's lowered his fly ball rate. So Matt Moore at 5,900 might be an SP2 option as well. There's no way I'm pitching Matt Moore at 75 on FanDuel, but 5,900, he's still cheap on DraftKings. And he gets a Mets team that does struggle versus lefties a little bit. Colorado, Los Angeles, Tyler Anderson is back. Dodgers have already lit him up once this year. Dodgers have not had a problem with lefties as of late. I mentioned they are one of the hottest teams in baseball. There's no way I'm playing Tyler Anderson, and in fact, I think you can attack him. I do like Anderson. I like his stuff. I don't like this matchup for him. And I think matchups are more important than where he's at. I want to attack teams that are hitting the ball well. Justin Turner stays hot. Corey Seager, I don't know if he'll be back tomorrow. Cody Bellinger, Chris Taylor, Yasiel Puig's been hitting the ball well. So I think Dodgers can be stacked against Tyler Anderson. And then on the flip, Brandon McCarthy, he's been pitching well. On the season, a 20% K rate. In his last 3 starts, he's yet to give up a home run. His StatCast numbers are off the charts. Under an 85 mile an hour average exit velocity. His barrel per ball rate is 2%. His strikeouts are down a little bit, but his hard contact is also way down, 20%. And the average against him is only 180 in his last 3 starts. Colorado obviously also struggles more on the road. I don't know. I think McCarthy could be a better play, and he's relatively cheap as well. 7,500 DraftKings, 8K on FanDuel. Houston at Seattle. Again, 2 of the hottest teams in the league. Ariel Miranda, however, is a guy I want to play, and I'm looking at Brad Peacock as well. This dude's K rate is ridiculous. He has a 42% K rate in his last 3 starts, a 35.7 on the season. and he's given up no home runs in his last 3 starts, and 1, if I'm not mistaken, on the entire year. This game, you have the two of the hottest offenses in the league, and I think this game is a pitching duel tomorrow. I really do. Ariel Miranda has been amazing at home. He holds a 182 average at home this year, a 229 WOBA, 20% strikeout rate, and he's not giving up home runs. Then, of course, Brad Peacock, like I mentioned, 167 average against him, 43% K rate in his last 3 starts. Pitcher's duel tomorrow. I think so. Both guys are in play for me. Philly at Arizona. Let's just attack Jeremy Hellickson. Arizona got to him in Philadelphia. Now we shift back to Arizona, where they are night and day difference. If they can hit, ridiculous, 43% K rate. If they can hit Jeremy Hellickson on the road, they can hit him at home. I think Arizona will be chalky again tomorrow, and I think they're well worth it. Brandon Drury stays 2,800. I'm going to continue to play him until they decide to adjust his price accordingly. Chris Owings, if Chris Herman plays again tomorrow, I like that. Jake Lamb is 3,800 on FanDuel. That's way too cheap. Gregor Blanco leading off. Depending on who they play, they might play Hazelbaker, they might play Fuentes, but Jeremy Hellickson can be attacked. He's been bad on the year and worse in his last 3 starts. In Arizona, it's a bandbox. Just load them up. Load them up. Martez is pitching for Houston. What? I saw Peacock. Hold on. Because if that's the case, that changes things. You are right, sir. You are right. Martez is pitching, not Peacock. Well, MLB.com lied to me. Well, you can attack Martez, so let's remove any thoughts of the pitcher's duel in that Seattle game. Francis Martez has not been great this year. Let's look at his numbers. There we go. Home run rate, not great. He does have some strikeout potential, but he's been getting smacked around by righties. And I think that's where all the power, most of the power is in this lineup. Mike Zunino, Mitch Haniger, Nelson Cruz, right? The power is in the righties here. And so I think you can attack Francis Martez. And that makes me like Ariel Miranda even more now, because I think he gets an easy win tomorrow. Appreciate the good look on the pitching change. Yeah, you guys are awesome, man. Catching my mistakes. Detroit and San Diego. So you guys might think I'm crazy here. I think Jordan Zimmerman is in play tomorrow. I do. On DraftKings, he's 8,400. I don't think he's in play, but on FanDuel, where he's cheaper, I do think he's in play, especially on the later slate. Jordan Zimmerman has 4 straight quality starts. He gets to pitch in one of the better pitching parks in the league. And again, Detroit is playing not to get swept tomorrow. No team wants to leave and get swept. Padres have been playing really, really well, so I give them that. But Jordan Zimmerman has been doing a much better job of late pitching. So I don't think I attack Jordan Zimmerman tomorrow. And again, I think he could be in play. He's just had good performances after good performance the last couple games. If anything else, even if I don't play him, I can tell you I won't stack against him. I think he's on a good streak right now, and I don't really want to attack him. Any subscription to the content shown during podcast, or is it created for the podcast? These are just our show sheets, so obviously it has the lineups and the pitchers. All the content comes with the subscription, right? You get all the projections. We have a hitter dashboard, a pitcher dashboard, everything else, StatCast, percentages, all that, some projections we've made. So this is just a show sheet, kind of shows. This is kind of like a basis of where you want to start. But everything else comes after. And then finally, Pittsburgh-St. Louis on the Sunday night game. Chad Kuhl and Mike Leake. Pittsburgh has been playing well. Mike Leake has been pitching well. Could be a pitcher's duel here tomorrow as well. Both these teams are very familiar with each other. Matt Carpenter stays hot. If there's two guys that I think can get to Chad Kuhl tomorrow, it's Carpenter and Fowler, who since they have swapped have been actually on a tear. Matt Carpenter has flourished in the leadoff spot, and Dexter Fowler has done much better hitting second. So those are the only two guys that really worry me versus Chad Kuhl. He shuts down righties. And that's most of Arizona's lineup. St. Louis, not Arizona. So I think Chad Kuhl can go out and have a good game tomorrow. If he can neutralize Matt Carpenter and Dexter Fowler, I think he should be okay with the rest of the lineup. And then Mike Leake, great ground ball pitcher. Doesn't give up a lot of home runs. His StatCast numbers are elite. You're looking at a 5% barreled rate, 87 mile an hour average exit velocity, under the average. And then, over the last 3 days, or over his last 3 starts, his fly ball percentage is 10%. 10%. 1 in 10 balls hit against him are in the air. There's no way I'm stacking Pittsburgh tomorrow, and I'm considering pitching Mike Leake. So, to recap kind of where we're at, my top 5 pitchers for playing tomorrow are Michael Pineda, GPP option only. Don't play him in cash, please. Brandon McCarthy, I do think he's in play against Colorado. I really, really like Ariel Miranda tomorrow. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. Jordan Zimmerman. Jordan Zimmerman is in play for me tomorrow. And then Chad Kuhl. I think I like him a little more than Mike Leake for the K upside. I think he just has a little more. And I do think Pittsburgh is a little hotter right now. So I would rather pitch Kuhl, but I do think this is going to be a pitcher's duel. Kuhl duel. I'm rhyming. What does cash mean? Cash and GPP are 2 different types of games. So cash is typically your double ups and 50-50s. Everyone that crosses the cash line wins the same amount of money, whereas GPPs, it's a progressive ladder or pyramid, however you want to call it. As you get higher up the rankings, the more money you win. Cash, if you hit that cash line, first place and 50th place gets the same amount of money. And then the guys I'm looking to attack tomorrow, Chris Tillman. Absolutely love some Tampa bats tomorrow. Doug Fister, I think we can attack with LA. I'm looking at attacking Zach Davies in Atlanta. I'm looking at attacking Tyler Anderson with Los Angeles. And then Jeremy Hellickson. Yo, what's up, Mo? Mo's in the shop. Yo, Mo, I saw your GPP today, 3rd place. Congrats, my friend. Congrats. I saw those nice winnings. We've been on fire, man. Obviously, I hit mine the other day. And then lastly, man, Jeremy Hellickson. Again, attack Jeremy Hellickson. Arizona's at home. I think they're chalk. If you don't have them and they go off, you're not cashing. So, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mike will be back tomorrow night to break down Monday. I will be breaking down tomorrow's Sunday slate for those of you guys in the River group. I'll do a little Sunday show. Typically don't, but obviously me and Theo rolled out that new strategy we were talking about in River, so we're going to go over it tomorrow, kind of help you guys. I'm going to add a couple more things to the sheets just because Josh, you made a good point about the pitchers, so going to add a couple more things. Again, if you guys are interested in joining, you get access to the lock shows. Those are where we do an in-depth breakdown of the bats we want to look at, obviously because we need the lineups to really look at a stack. I have projected lineups, but those don't really do us much justice. So we'll get into that. I'll give you my final thoughts on pitchers. We'll talk about where Vegas is, huge part of the game, and just overall where we're at. So great night for the Phenoms again, guys. I saw a lot of cashing. A couple guys were taking down some small GPPs. Shout out to you guys building that bankroll. You guys are doing it right, man. You guys are doing it right. Elmer, I saw you take down a GPP. I know David obviously won the free roll today. Congrats to him. Nick took second, if I'm not mistaken. We had some other guys that won some GPPs. So shout out to you guys. You guys are doing it right, building that bankroll. It's what it's all about, man. So we're here to help. Of course, and if you're struggling, guys, and you guys are in the group and you're struggling, please reach out to me. I'll help you. I really will. Whether it's the way you research, whether it's the way to read the sheets, whether it's contest selection, which is huge and undervalued, I'll help guide you, and I'll give out my phone number. We can talk on the phone. You know, I'll help you guys break it down. Whether you're struggling with Vegas, whatever it is, we will. We'll make sure you guys are having a successful stay, I guess you would call it, stay in the community. So appreciate you guys all rocking with us. We're gearing up for football, obviously. Baseball's still in full swing. Shout out to JC and Keith. They're going to hold down WNBA. Zach Bailey and Josh Tannery are holding down NASCAR. Zach is creating his own sheets for NASCAR, so if you guys are looking in there, of course the Golf Channel, we're still cashing nicely there. So a lot of good things going on, guys. Get in. Website's coming. We're hoping for a beta in the next couple weeks. I know it's been delayed. We apologize. That is our fault. We're trying to, with all the updates we've made to the sheets, the website developer obviously has to change how he codes the website. So we've locked in kind of what we're going to have for baseball, and we're looking forward to football for the website now. So have a wonderful night. I will talk to you guys in the morning on the Lock Show, and we'll get back at it. Let's make Sunday another profitable day.